Okay, so I actually originally saw information about this on, of all places, a website that was called, what was it called?
Hot cars.
Hotcars.com. You know, I was on Flipboard, which you all know I use Flipboard to read the news, and it aggregates from all kinds of different places. And sometimes, I was like, hotcars.com. I didn't even notice where it was from, but the article title is These Are the Countries Moving the Fastest to Ban Combustion Engine Cars. And so it gave a list of um, eight entities and their targeted end of life for selling internal combustion engine cars.
That's
So I did
funny
some
because it's
more.
it's it's hot cars making a list of banning the cars that made our planet hot.
I know. That was the other irony. Yeah, yeah. So I did a little more research. I found another article on Reuters. I found other places of people reducing the sale of internal combustion engine cars. And I thought, it's just a lot of words on paper. So what I'm going to do, what I did is I actually put together a little slide. It's not really a slideshow presentation because it's just one slide, and I'm very visual. So this is what I did. And
Ooh,
so starting with Quebec and California. Now they're not countries, but
Big enough.
yeah, pretty much. But they did pass locally, just to themselves, a ban on new internal combustion engine cars is going to take effect in 2035. So that's 14 years out now. And then China, they don't yet have timelines for banning internal combustion engine cars or hybrid cars, but China has pledged to be net zero in 2060. Now, is that actually going to happen? I mean, we know China has a lot of really dirty coal power plants and a huge population. It's going to be a huge push, but we also know that China put huge incentives towards electric vehicles back in 2009 to get them to where they are now, which is to be millions of electric vehicles on the road. Everything from the big luxury electric vehicles down to the little Paul wouldn't be caught dead driving one on a public street electric vehicle.
If they're paying for their own people's healthcare, I can see them reaching that.
Well, and yeah, and that's there's speaking of the healthcare. I mean, we know the healthcare is probably getting really expensive because of all the pollution.
Exactly.
The days that you can't even see Beijing. So that's another incentive for them to crack down on internal combustion engine vehicles. So then moving down the list, Denmark has pledged that they're going to ban all new internal combustion engine cars by 2030 and all new hybrids in 2035.
That's aggressive.
So yeah, so that means that 2035 there will be no more internal combustion engines, even the hybrids. So all EVs. And then Britain has taken it one step farther. The same with Denmark, 2030 and 2035 for internal combustion engine cars, but they've said net zero in 2050. Now, one of the reasons they have the net zero goal is because the European Union, who they recently left, also has a net zero goal. But the UE doesn't really have timetables for the electric vehicles, so they didn't have them on this list. But Britain is keeping that even after Brexit. So as you can see, the dates are getting lower. So we're getting closer to present day. Germany and Sweden both have said 2030, a ban on all new internal combustion engine cars. The second to the last one I got, this was from hotcars.com, and I put it on here just to rib some of you guys, but they actually gave kudos to Volkswagen. Because because it's country, right? But the reason they said was because Volkswagen has pledged no more internal combustion engine cars starting in 2026. That's only 5 years away.
We'll see.
oh, well,
We'll
then
see.
you should put Tesla on there and have it at 2012.
Right? 2008. 2008.
2008,
Oh, yeah,
2007, 2005. When did the Roadster come out?
Right.
Yeah. I don't think it's retroactive, but yes, yeah. But I mean, you have to admit, if they pull this off, and we'll have to wait till 2020, 26 or 27 to find out, it is a tectonic shift in the market, especially for them.
I can see them doing it.
So,
I hope they do it, but if we were betting, I'm gonna say I'll take the over.
yeah. Well, but even so, I mean, just see, yeah. And then, does anyone who hasn't read the article, you want to guess number one and the date?
Chevrolet tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Also not a country, but no, we didn't go there. Volkswagen was the only entity. Norway said 2025, 4 years from now, there will be no more internal combustion engine cars sold.
Well, they're already
in Norway.
taxed up the wazoo, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already
are.
about 50%, right? I've
They're
been hearing
they're at
horror
over
sto-
50% now. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been
Yeah,
hearing
they're
horror
already
stories
well
about trying to
on
sell a gas used car in Norway to the point where they just take it to mainland Europe because nobody wants to buy it in Norway. That they can only use it for 4 years.
Yeah.
Norway at this point is just waiting for the last 6 ICE cars to die.
Right.
That's
Right. Damn Volvos, get off the road.
Darn Torvald in his truck.
So this was just kind of a rundown on where we are right now, sort of around the world and locally, on banning internal combustion engine cars. I mean, hell, guys. 10 years ago when we started What Drives Us, I never thought we would get to a point where we would see lines in the sand of countries saying no more internal combustion engines, and even companies that are saying we're going full EV.
We were still manually backyard converting our Priuses to have plugs on them. So
Yeah.
This is awesome. Things really are changing.
Yeah.
Well, I do find it curious that China is saying it's going to hit its peak at 2030 for ICE. So it just feels like they're like, oh, well, we're going to make sure we pollute up to this amount. And then suddenly we'll drastically cut that short. So in 30 years.
I think they're probably looking at the cost tables dropping, because they do have a lot of the materials you need to make batteries just right there.
I think, taking into consideration the transition time. I mean, it's a juggernaut. It's going to take a long time to turn around. I would love for them to just say we're done today, but I think that would be unrealistic.
I mean, China is really putting a huge effort. I posted a link on the Facebook page, What Drives Us, about a CNBC article regarding EVs in China, and they are kicking butt. They want to be the world leader in EVs, and they're also the largest car market. So,
that is actually a really good. Yeah, that's the article was a video, right, Paul?
A video.
Yeah, it was a really good video. So that's facebook.com/What Drives Us, and look for the CNBC article.
And there's companies that none of us have heard of that have sold like 1 million EVs in China.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's it. I just
in China and stuff. So
I just wanted to have this discussion and how kind of enthusiastic. There we go. I can't even conjugate English now. But it kind of gets me excited to see these countries out there saying, okay, we're done with this. We're moving on.
Yeah, we're going to need a lot of batteries, though. The fact that EVs today are less than 3% of new car sales globally, and we're hitting battery constraints. So let's get some more gigafactories, terafactories,
some battery factories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gigafactories.
Yeah, Yoda factories.
The giggity factories. That's what we need.
So we've got Tesla and Volkswagen building tons of them, and then Nissan spun theirs off. So do we think that the rest of it's going to be filled by third parties, or are all the manufacturers going to build battery plants at this point?
I would like to think they all will.
I think, Casey, that a number of them will continue to buy outsourced from third parties until they can't get the supply they need. And at that point, that's going to force a number of them to do their own thing.
Like they did with engines. Like they used to buy them from the Dodge brothers, and then they had to make them themselves.
Yeah, it might even be the same formulation, the same form factor, the same, chemistry, but yeah, it would be just one big bottleneck. And then imagine a contamination or an entire run that goes bad. I mean, the recall. I mean, look at the airbags, the Takata airbags. What a cluster was that? Because everybody relied on the same vendor and found out there was a flaw. I mean, we would see this.
The second gen.
Go ahead.
Sorry, the second gen Civic Hybrid, it used the same manufacturer as the Toyota cells, and so they got the B cells, whereas Toyota was getting the A cells, and then all the 2008, 2007 Civic Hybrids had to have battery replacements.
Battle going on in the background.
Right, I couldn't hear anything you said, Casey. I was watching the cats.
so like a massive amount of the Civic Hybrid batteries had to be replaced because they, like you said, they were all coming from one source, like the Takata bags.
So this just came up on Twitter. The state of Texas just committed to banning internal combustion engines in the year 3125. But that's a moving target. Follow
Unless
up.
they're to pick up, then they could go on forever.
It's a commitment.